I think you're really talkative.
It's no use, Elton. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting just here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
Magic is there!
Lightning Rider!
Blazer Spear! Here's the evil!
Take this!
Blazer!
I'll smash you!
Go
You're
down!
mine!
Here's the healing
I'm
armor!
not done!
Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee!
I'll end you!
Not on my watch!
Lightning
All
Rider!
disasters may one! Come forth the healing
Let
security!
Watch it!
Searing flame! Revealed! Here,
More
let me help! First aid! Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee! Gemini Aqua! Shooting star! You want us to handle?
Burn in hell!
Burning strike! Here's a healing art! All disasters may one! Come forth the healing security! Maelstrom! Don't leave me! By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! Shooting star!
Leave the charges to me!
Burning strike! I'll bring you back from death to death!
Now you see what I can do!
Resuscitation! Here's a healing art!
Swallow dead!
I'll bring you back from death to
Demon
death!
Fang!
Inspiration! I can do this!
Eternal devastation!
Roll now! That frickin' does it!
Healing
Super
star!
Swallow dead!
Lightning on raging cascade!
There!
Breath!
Running down!
Annihilation of havoc!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Here's a healing art! First aid! Heal! Dance in the wind! A whirling struggle! Wind of the
Eagle assault!
all
Rising
disasters!
Rider!
Now! Come forth the helix of fury!
Ignite!
Need to pull myself together. Radiant pierce!
Dragon Swarm! You're mine!
Reload!
Swallow dead!
I'm all stocked up! Lightning orb!
Explosive ring!
Illuminate the reload! Come forth! Holy flame! Holy lamp! A wailing banshee of lightning! First aid! I'll be standing this
Swallow
way!
dead!
You're mine!
Move eruption! Made one! Lunar blast! The healing of fury!
Dragon Swarm!
Lightning radiant pierce!
Dragon Swarm!
Chain between the healing arms!
Arrow punch!
First aid! Wailing banshee of lightning!
Dragon shout!
Burn!
Divine! A whirling struggle!
Rising Rider!
Wind of heaven! Don't give up! Air thrust! Healing circle! I'll bring you back from
I'll
death
tear
to
you
death!
apart!
I'll bring you back from death
Tectonic
to
strike!
death!
I'll finish you here and now!
I'll bring you back from death to
Talent
death!
hurricane!
I'll bring you back from
Quiver
death to
dragon!
death! I'll bring
Eagle
you back
assault!
from
Now
death
I'm
to
in the
death!
groove!
Divine strength! Resuscitation! Here's a healing art! Whirling struggle!
Talent hurricane!
Wind
Dragon
of
Sword!
fury! Burning strike!
Rising Viper!
Spear! Here's the
Rising
evil!
Viper!
Swallow
You're
dead!
mine!
That frickin' does it!
I'll heal you all!
Tear you apart!
Divine healing circle! Dance in the wind! Sleep not in your dreams! All disasters made one! Come forth the helix of purity! Crumble! Sealed! darkest sky! I call upon thee!
Raining slash! Eternal devastation!
Shooting star!
Rising wyvern! Void blast!
The flames will roar!
Flight! Tear!
In here! Here's a healing arc!
This one's all mine! Pierce
Healing
through!
circle! Meteor storm!
Not today!
Water! Hear my call!
Double defense!
Can't
move!
Pluto!
Oh, you are gonna pay for that! Whirlwind snap! First strike! I'm just getting started!
Still got some fight left in me. Flame! Reload! I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
I'm just getting started!
Close one! All disasters made one! Come forth, the healing security! Maelstrom! Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee!
Demon Fang!
Cyan instant! Shooting star! All disasters made one! Come forth, the healing security!
Rising wyvern!
Maelstrom!
Portal blade!
Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee!
Demon Fang! Eternal
Shooting
devastation!
star!
Demon Fang!
I'll heal you all disasters made one! Come forth, the healing security!
Lightning Falcon!
Maelstrom! Glacial spear! Here's evil! All disasters made one! Come forth, the healing security! Here's a healing arc! All disasters made one! Come forth, the healing security! Maelstrom! Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee!
I really know
Sonic
you are.
Thrust!
Shooting star!
Sonic Thrust! Swallow! I'm on!
Do it! Alpin! Astral energy!
Say no more! Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What? It's self-destructed?
Alpin!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much. So you know this place? Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart. Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean... Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a...
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renin and Dana have meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alma!
Too late! We can't stay here!
We need to go! Outfit!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am...
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Volron... have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What, those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renis Alma. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena... that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renis Alma in their grasp already. so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Voron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renans or Danans.
be a breeze. Get in, get out. Bring them down!
Winds of heaven! Mega ray!
Inspiration!
How long are we gonna keep this up for exactly?
Now you'll learn!
I can't kill you forever! Illuminate the
Got
dark!
your name on it!
You picked the wrong fight! Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down!
Go me! In an instant! Impact block!
Will this help? Illuminate the dark! Healing circle!
I really owe you one.
Came between heaven and earth!
Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
A whirling struggle!
Just getting started.
Winds of heaven!
I can do this all day.
It's on!
That's
Rising hammer!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Here, let me help. Here
Take
goes!
this! I'm not done!
With this, I can become even stronger.
I'm going to need to use all the power of my
Demon Fang!
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
I'm only getting started. Raging swallow dead.
Rising Wiper!
Dragon breath. Freeze lancer.
Eat dirt!
I can do this all day. Freeze lancer.
Here I come!
Dance in the wind.
Sonic
Eagle
Drop! There
arrow.
you are!
A whirling
Demon
struggle.
Fang!
That frickin' does it!
Winds of heaven.
Incineration Wave!
Dragon shell!
And a jet.
Eagle! I'll
This one
crush
keeps
you!
charging us!
That's what my shield's for.
Lightning
behind
reflexes!
me.
Tenebrous claw!
I'll leave it to you!
I'll heal you all.
Super swallow dead!
Healing circle. Lightning
Now go
wind.
ahead.
Gemini aqua. Friend.
Swallow dead!
Here.
Incineration Wave!
Super swallow dead!
Burn in hell!
I'll finish you here and now!
Magic is
Lightning Wiper!
swallow dead. The power of my healing arts to heaven and earth.
Dragon
A wailing death.
Armor won't save you!
Warp in the stockpile.
I'm on a roll now!
I'm on.
Sonic Drop!
Frickin' does it!
Magic
I'll end you!
Magic is there.
Super swallow dead!
Here.
Here I come!
Lunar
Rondo!
Swallow dead! Glimmer dragon! I'm just getting started! Oh, now I'm real mad!
You picked the wrong fight!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Here's a hit.
Rolling fast! Almost! Too slow! First strike! Blow away! Super swallow dead! Watch it!
Raging cascade!
Demon Fang!
Anything in order is all no!
Can't end here!
Don't give up! These fists have got your name on them! Now I'm in the groove! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss!
Now you see what I can do!
Thunder Blade! A chain between heaven and earth!
Not done yet!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
It was a close thing.
It's all...
Here's a... start! First aid!
Combo blade! Hurricane thrust!
Vanquish darkness!
That freaking does it! Dragon Shell!
Double demon
I'll tear
fang!
you apart!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Dragon Shell!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Here's a healing
Dragon Form!
I really owe you one.
Searing
Double
and
demon
that's
fang!
my will! Flare tornado!
Hurricane fang!
Leave the inferno
Double
to me.
demon fang!
Yeah, and double to me.
Double demon fang! Double demon fang!
That freaking does it!
Incineration will eat dirt!
I'm on it! Dragon Shell!
I'm on it! Demon fang! Double demon fang! Demon fang! Destruction!
I'm on it!
Finish it!
Shattering pieces! Attack us! Eagle
Double
assault!
demon fang!
There's always room for improvement.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing. So she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegus from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegus right now?
Lenegus wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegus. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldaman and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegus, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie. Built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegus, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright, or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like... oh, I don't know. Musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Turnagain's death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegus till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Eldomenencia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegus who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menencia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits. Looks like the people of Lenegus can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix, too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegis.
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman and the Renaissance. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face is an attack.
If we come across a capital, we should... What? Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone! Look there!
A flower blooming out of Rena?
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
Flower of Oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
So what? We're just stuck inside here, floating around? For how long?
I don't believe this. We've made it all this way, and now we're stuck here? We're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no choice but to sit here and starve to death?
Law, calm down! You're not the only one who's worried here.
Right. Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more remnants here? Or those red women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question is, who?
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would anyone want to bring us here?
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
I still can't get over what... Okay, who's the wise guy that summoned us here?
Someone formidable enough to bring our starship along with us.
They must be here somewhere. Let's find them.
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Huh? What's that? It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Hevrect 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that, just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
We did not come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
What did you do to us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control. I see why they viewed you as a danger now.
Oh goody, more riddles.
Do you think we can trust this thing?
Like it or not, it may be our best chance at a ticket out of here. Let's at least hear it out.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helganquil. The Red Women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Dake Phasal, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's Great Spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this Great Spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
A voice? Just like Dana.
The voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly, and we have served it, without question, throughout the ages.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this Great Spirit be the true Sovereign of Rena?
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this Great Spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegus. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah, but...
Let's assume that what Hevrect 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets. Even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's Great Spirit. Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegus are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy. And the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed. And it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest. Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegis was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renis Alma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling's success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevret 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request?
As you can see, a lot has
what
happened.
Could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your master?
I did. It is in your best interest that you do so, I might add.
What makes you say that?
Lenegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a part.
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
At this stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Others? Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Faisal.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us. Let's take a look around.
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told us, right? I mean, it's practically blackmailing us into doing its dirty work.
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it. How about you, Dohalim? Were you able to follow it at all?
At the very least, everything it said about the Renin Great Spirit adds up. At the end of the day, this whole chain of events comes back to astral energy. That being said,
yeah,
previously
just
encountered
like
the will of Dana. I suspect I would
just
find its
halted
story much more
conversation after
difficult to
that. Like,
believe.
all right, nigga.
The spirit of Rena wants to see Dana
I want
completely
to seal
destroyed.
myself, and that's it.
Why? Astral energy is supposed to be a force that creates and shapes the world.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if we're up against an entire world or what its game is. We're not going to let it destroy Dana.
Right.
There is one other thing that concerns me. How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown Contest are all part of a centuries-long plan is clear enough. But what about the Renins? How do they factor into all this?
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevrek 35 never even brought up the Renans once. And as for the Helganquill, we never did find out just what they are either.
Maybe it had a reason for keeping its silence. Or perhaps there's even more going on. Maybe the others will shed more light on the matter. Let's find out.
That shit off in the distance right there, that's the calamity that just happened. Like this giant like energy rose bloomed out of this place that we're supposed to go, and they're like absorbing this planet that we was on. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
Are you a Renan?
I guess so.
I guess so.
The Overseer told us to answer any questions you have. Whatever you want to know, we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
What a weird guy.
He must have meant Hevrek 35 when he mentioned that Overseer.
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dana and Rena, do you?
There isn't anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
Hold on one second. Alright.
Have you guys lived up here in Dig Faisal with Hevrek 35 for a long time?
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack over the years.
Why are you all even here in the first place?
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegis from the outside.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been working for Hevrek 35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all along.
What do you mean?
The Helganquill have the technology to cloak themselves around us Renans. As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renin won't see one, even if it's right in front of them.
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously. Do they employ an astral art of some sort?
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself, but from what I understand, the type of cloaking they use is primarily achieved through mechanical means. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected. It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to imagine that's how Lenegis is still run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why aren't Renins affected by it in the same way?
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us Renins.
You act like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell at their deceptions.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrek 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though. Why is that?
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little lonely.
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lenegis? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to simply stay here and watch everything unfold instead. Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before it passes on, though.
Thank you for answering our questions. Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift, so I can talk until then.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
You mean the Overseer's species? I can't say I know much about them.
Well, for starters, where'd they come from?
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renins down there?
Of course not. There's really no such thing as Renins in the first place.
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
Apparently not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renins were originally created from Danins by the Helganquil.
What? What?
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
There aren't.
Plot
but there
twist.
are Helganquil.
That's some M. Night Shyamalan
That's what
shit.
the name literally means in their language. People of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge of extinction, yes? In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danins who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts, albeit to varying degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renins were originally created from Danins that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Wait, that explains why almost nobody can use Astro Arts on Dana now.
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries. They have these tiny machines that are practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies and...
Enough.
With that camera angle.
How can you speak so calmly about all of this?
No plot
I
enough.
guess I can
He
see
keeping it
how,
straight
when
up. He keeping
viewed
it a
in a
buck.
certain light, their ways may sound grotesque. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from crawling the earth in ignorance. If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it. Anyway, the Helganquil are the real Renins. Personally, I don't think it's such a big deal. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers just about everything worth knowing.
I see. Thanks for filling us in.
That dude probably dropped the biggest bomb
Does he really
in the
expect us
entire
to believe
game
that
so far.
Renans never
Like, that guy
truly
right there.
existed? How absurd.
Dohalim.
Just when I think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the face.
Then let's hope this is our last revelation for a while.
He kept it 1,000.
Do you know anything about a spirit channeling plan?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes. Do you know what its main objective was?
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy and send it to Rena.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large quantity of astral energy without it becoming sentient. Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy so it would be compatible with Rena.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection, and then the
Bro,
sovereign
you talking about Kisara? Yeah, bro. She the baddest one in the game. Yeah.
However,
Kisara's
the first plan
a
failed
baddie.
when the sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied.
Yeah, bro. I'm on it. I'm on it as
The
well.
reason for
as you
that
can
is
see.
because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans in Helganquil that day. For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renis Alma, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark astral energy types.
Yeah,
To
she's
amend
a fucking
that,
tank,
we
bro.
set our sights on Dana and
Waifu
implemented a
material,
system
man.
whereby we could extract energy from it.
And the crown contest began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps. A new sovereign had to be made as well. It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral energy that's been harvested from Dana. As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Hevric 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes. And yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
Damn.
He talks like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that
these
these guys have been
motherfuckers are,
living alone up here for a long
keeping it
time.
a million.
Who knows what shape their minds are in?
Feels like our whole world has been turned upside down. Is there anything we know that's still true at this point?
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we Renans were created by the Helganquil, let alone the Sovereign and Maiden stuff.
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves. I know all of this is a lot to believe and take in, but I think it's fair to say that we've found the answers we've been looking for. Does everyone agree?
Agreed. Though I'll admit that I never expected it to all boil down to Rena's great spirit being behind everything.
Everything that's happened, everything we've endured, it's all because of astral energy.
And to get that energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helganquil. Then the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade and rule over the Danans.
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit can't directly control the Renans as well is likely because they were originally Danans all along.
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much, even. We should probably take it easy and rest our minds a bit. Why don't we all take some time to think things over, before we decide on our next move?
That's a good idea, Kisara. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this, then we've got a really big fight ahead of us. Because it's not just Dana on the line, but Rena too. If we're going to do this, we need to be completely sure of ourselves. So let's go ahead and break off for now. We aren't in any immediate danger, so we should be okay. You sure you don't want to be alone right now?
I could ask you the same question.
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around and checking up on everybody.
I'll go along with you. I'm interested to hear what's on everyone's minds too.
Sounds good. Let's go find them.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up each spot.
Oh.
Well,
what about... Well, is everybody ready to do what needs to be done?
I am. There's a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, Dana's still in danger. I don't care who we're up against. We'll kick their ass.
What are your thoughts, Alphen? I want to know what's on your mind, too.
Like Law said, if we have to fight the Great Spirit on Rena, then so be it. It's trying to rob us of our entire world. And it's going to take not just our home, but all of existence along with it. That alone is enough to make it our enemy. But it's not only that. One way or another, I think beating the Great Spirit is going to be tied to us saving Xion.
You're saying there's a chance?
You're referring to the vision of destruction we all saw in Lenegis, I take it?
Yeah. 3 centuries ago, the astral energy that appeared at the spirit channeling ceremony showed Naori that vision. And to hear Xion tell it, it's the same one that she sees from her own thorns as well.
Indeed. Xion's thorns are comprised of dark astral energy, the one type which we know is native only to Rena. And if Rena's great spirit is what's behind Dana's pending destruction, then...
Xion's thorns are the Great Spirit? It's not actually on Rena like we thought?
What?
We don't know anything for certain. At the very least, though, I think it's possible her thorns are a part of the Great Spirit.
While the main body resides in Rena.
Xion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's Great Spirit, I'm going to go over there and give it a piece of my mind and then some.
The question is, how do we confront it? Suffice it to say, that flower growing out of Rena is enormous, large enough to house the will of an entire planet. The Wedge and Lenegis were both hard enough for us to overcome in their own right. This is an altogether greater challenge for merely 6.
And we only know about the Thorns connection thanks to Naori.
Hevrek 35 has been observing the Great Astral Spirit this whole time. It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it has a plan of some sort. Let's go see what that is. Our minds are made up. Let's go give Hevrek 35 our answer.
Well, that's still not well. Okay, he's on level 2. Central level. Yeah.
Do you have your answer for me?
We want to ask something first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? You must have something up your sleeve, or else you wouldn't put us up to it.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not run throughout its entire body. Rather, its will is derived from the core, which supports the rest of the body, and is where its strength is most densely concentrated. Therefore, if you destroy the core, the Great Spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience, and return to being ordinary astral energy.
And how are we supposed to destroy that core?
By using the Renus Alma. You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling astral energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Renus Alma to destroy it.
Hold on. That sounds a lot like what Shion described before.
Yeah, killing herself to take out the thorns with her.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit, and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
What will happen to the Maiden once we manage to beat
die.
the great astral spirit?
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So it really will kill me.
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the Great Spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
What are our other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised
It's like,
Shion that she
nigga,
wouldn't
you
die.
need to get out of your
That we'd
feelings when the
save
most
the world without
optimal
needing to
option is
sacrifice
already
her.
apparent.
We didn't fight this whole time just
If
to
you
give
haven't
up on her
fucked
at the
yet,
very end.
fuck her so we can
If
get
there's
this
any
going.
other way to take out the Great Spirit, I want to hear it.
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving your world.
I
Abandoning
know you
it
need
is
to get some
irrational.
pussy, so get some pussy so
It
that we
is
can commit
vital
to this
that you
plan.
proceed with this plan. A part of Rena's great astral spirit already resides within her. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the great astral spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully eradicate the Great Spirit. That is why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit, attacking it is futile, and will only serve to strengthen it.
No.
Wait.
Fucking Alphen the cuck.
They always said that the Renus Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns could be neutralized by placing them in it. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
It is true that the Renus Alma is capable of what you suggest, and could contain the great astral spirit.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony. Considering that the Renus Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed, I cannot allow it. Its uncertainty is simply too great.
What does that mean for us if you won't allow it?
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave here.
Why you?
Damn.
Fine then. I'd rather stay
I
here
will
and
blow up
rot
your
than
ship,
do it your
and
way.
you will never escape.
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. The Great Spirit will destroy it.
The same
If you're
shit,
fine
what,
letting that happen,
that the machine
and we
is
have
on?
nothing to gain either way, then I'd rather do nothing. We want to stop Dana from getting destroyed. We want to save it. But not if it means having to sacrifice one of us in the process. If all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, then quit ordering us around and shut up!
Alvin.
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may, I shall accede to your demand.
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renis Alma are my species' greatest achievement.
Alvin. Yeah.
I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renis Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegis.
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a catalyst for it to receive Dana's astral energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great Spirit and take it back?
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena, where the Great Spirit's core is located.
So right in the middle of that giant flower, then.
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's great astral spirit is already integrated with the planet. What will happen to Rena once it vanishes?
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse. Even in such a scenario, the energy will disperse, and the Great Spirit will likely not reform.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying it, we'll still be in danger?
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before the final stage.
The machine is just keeping it fully
I wish that
on
thing
just
had tell
a
it to
buck
us straight for once.
There's no girl
35 and
attached
the
to
others have
him,
gotten
but
used to hypothesizing from
Alvin's
afar,
like,
so-
hey, I want to save this waifu, so we got to do this, which is a typical our protagonist
Fix our
motivation.
starship.
So you know,
We're
it's
going to
typical
Rena.
shit.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves. To
Save the
protect
girl
what matters to
versus
us.
the most
We're
logical
not doing it for your
way
sake,
to execute
or
it
because you
without
told us to.
a girl involved.
Remember that.
It matters little to me. The end result shall be the same. Repair work on your starship has commenced. You'll have to wait until it's finished.
This is why our machine overlords will destroy us all.
To talk like a normal
Because
person.
all the
I
feelings
swear I
and
can
shit and
feel
all the
my
humanity
brain
will
starting
not
to
be
fry
involved.
after listening to all that complicated stuff.
Don't worry. I think we're mostly done with him. Now all we have to do is rest up and wait. Once the Fall Knights is good to go again, we'll be taking off for Rena right away.
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where Renans really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to resent us.
But you still intend to confront this truth head-on, don't you?
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, and not the dead. Even as I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. I hated them just for being Renan. But you changed that, Dohalim. You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives. Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like that. There were those of you who were good, and that was a start. When it comes down to it, Renans are just people. They can be good or bad, just like Danans.
That is, in essence, the heart of your approach, isn't it? That we're all people.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, then you have the chance to come to an understanding. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about massive numbers of Renans and Danans alike. Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more? That's the ideal future you hope to see when this is all over?
Yes, I do. I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy. Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegis when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegis proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menancia, you know.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you, Doe.
Did you just... Never mind. Thank you, Kisara. I appreciate your patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know, I hadn't actually thought of it that way before. But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Hey, why'd you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, if everything we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle. So I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
I was being real stupid before, about whether Dana's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I think I also want to believe it's good.
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside me. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning, even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trust it, Rinwell, and that's enough for me. So I'll trust it because you do.
Remember what I said about neither planet's great spirit reaching us here?
Yeah?
That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and everyone else.
You... what?
I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really small amount, so it doesn't feel like it has a will of its own. But I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will inside each of us? In a way, doesn't that mean we're all Dana's will?
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dana's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dana's astral energy inside us...
Yeah, maybe...
Heverick 35 might know the answer. But, you know what? I don't need to ask it. My will is my own. I fight for who I want to fight for. That's who I am now. Who I've become. So thanks, Rinwell, for sharing that with me.
Ah.
To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dana's will... well, I mean, it mostly was... I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No, what were you saying?
Saying? I don't remember
Come
saying
on.
anything.
Now you won't tell me what you were
No,
thinking?
that's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already.
You sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Xion?
Same as you, still trying to absorb everything.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana? Although that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Ages and ages ago. Everything that's happened since we first met. So many fights, so much chaos, so many wonderful people.
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have met all of you. I never would have held the blazing sword or looked for something more. I wouldn't have my memories back. I'd still be a faceless slave, like as not long dead.
Hey, Alphen. I want you to promise me something.
Yeah?
If we can't find the Renis Alma, there's something I want you to do. Like Heverick 35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we can't get the Renis Alma back, you'll use the blazing sword to destroy the Great Spirit, and me along with it.
Huh?
It's true the Blazing Sword may not have the strength of the Renis Alma. But it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything
Listen,
that we've...
the Great Spirit isn't just our problem. It's a threat to our entire world. Renans and Danans alike. We don't know what's going to happen when we face it, but we need to be prepared for anything. We can't second-guess ourselves when the time comes. I promise you, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm prepared to fight with absolutely everything I've got. But if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared too.
Okay. But you should know that I'm not going to give up on you, Shion. I'm going to fight this until the very end. I hope you can forgive me for that.
Alphen. Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
Thank you, Shion.
So it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever make twice. After they'd seen what could happen, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone willingly reach out to me. But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me. And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never known before. But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
You won't have to worry about that for much longer.
You think so?
I do, because Shion,
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Everybody get enough rest? We ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only descend down to Rena, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore stability to both worlds.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dana and Rena.
Right. We've come this far. We will save our worlds. That's a promise.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Hevrek 35? You can see us from where you are?
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds of Dig Faisal.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrect 35 a break. It has been stuck in this tiny facility for a very, very long time.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship. You can now make use of its warp drive.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us? What brought us here?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helganquil, after all.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait, should?
You'll need to be careful. Due to the force field surrounding Rena, the ship will be unable to go any further than the surface of the planet.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot. Understood.
We gotta go all the way down just walking?
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great Spirit? I have a strange feeling we're going to have to fight them before this is all over.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
We understand.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Doe.
Hold up, did you just...
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have one last question.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
You mean it is because of multiple chance interactions? The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable. Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
It's hard to explain. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand. All right, time to get back on the Fall Knights.
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive a spin.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is dead.
Then this must be the Hollowing.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is that stuff?
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, it went after Dana.
So arresting. This world of doom.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dana is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past. This is all that will remain.
So the Great Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude, until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and emptiness.
With nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana, looking for another host.
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dana's going to look like?
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive. It looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
So this is Rena. This is where everything began. Yet it's a dead world?
I won't let Dana suffer the same fate, ever.
I think the animals back at the ranch should be all grown up by now.
We seem to have come across something a little unusual. There's history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him. Hey, she's pretty cute.
Who are you looking at? Quit gawking and let's go.
Ow!
I think Hoodle senses something.
There's history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him. Hey, Alphen, what do you think of that chick over there?
Doesn't look like she really works out.
I'm not talking about her muscles, you dummy! You finally made it. Hmm? finally made it.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Yeah!
Did we get everything?
Yeah, let's We're back to Bregan.
I see.
All right. Got
What?
that? What? That ain't. Yeah.
Zephyr's words got through to him. The things he risked his life to say were worth it in the end.
I just hope he got through to others.
Hi, Hoodle!
I'm not done! Swallow dance!
Freeze Lancer! You head!
I'm on it! Sword Ray Alpha! Try this!
The flashing part's their weak point.
It's finished!
Let's do it, Dance Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Will this help?
Take this! First strike! I'm not done!
Lightning Orb!
Swallow dance! Black! It's time!
I owe you, Sion. Healing is what my art is at. Full speed ahead!
Hey, wait for it!
The enemy is going all out! Now!
Totally! In an instant! Impact block!
I wonder if we can make new weapons with this.
Always good to be back in familiar territory.
I see. Right.
I think there's someone in trouble here.
Well, let's...
Hey!
Well...
Right.
Oh?
All right.
Thus our strength yet grows. There's history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
Who? This shall be a feast for the senses.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
I see you've got your relics all Huh?
Oh, it's you two.
Don't...
I try to take...
I thought you could hear...
I can.
What are they...
I was so... I must...
He never...
Nope. Like how...
An excellent...
I don't...
Why?
Maybe something's going on in the forest. Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle? I think there's someone in trouble here.
Yes!
Excuse me! Really now?
What?
I see. Agreed.
Very nice.
Dohalim, the line of researchers is getting longer.
Perhaps I should have put more thought into this before accepting.
We finally made it.
This is Tales of Arise. Ominous eyeball? Man, I need that. Jesus Christ. Alright, so there's a lot of new shit here. So I probably need to go to the final zone now. So I think all of the mats for that against the shit are in the final zone. Alright, so I have to roll a little bitty blunt because I'm gonna be up for
Looks
a little
like
longer.
We made it here
usual.
in one piece.
I'm about to get cracking. Side blunt here, this little side piece. Roll up this side piece. Yeah, I'm trying to like get all the in-game activities done, but from what I've read, a lot of them require you to get shit from the final zone, which is what I'm about to go to. There's a lot of like mega bosses that you have to fight, bruh. Some of those are so busted, bruh. So I'm trying to get some shit to beat these mega bosses. And those mats are kind of retarded. Woo! I figure I can trigger a cutscene and roll up while it's happening. Which one? Let's go this one. Let's go this one.
Looks like we've warped into that pit of astral energy.
Helganquil!
Guess they don't need their Red Woman disguises anymore.
Wait, can you understand us?
It's no use. We're not going to get through to them.
So they really are being controlled. In that case, we've got no choice.
Knew there was something off here.
They're not pulling punches. We have no choice but to beat them at their own game.
When did I get so popular?
What my art can do. Now it's shine. I'm on it. The flames will roar. Resurrection. Inherit.
Totally! In an instant! Impact block!
There. Work it down. Fire's attached. Magic. Fire's attached. You get the gist. Power of flame. Vanish without a trace. Oh, sparkling stars of light. Rain down and purify all.
An astral art?
Not much longer to go.
Come on, shut him down!
Glacial sphere. Heart requires complete focus. Luminescence. Luna blast. Back into the fray. Shooting star. You must handle it.
Burn in hell!
Lightning condemned.
Do it! Here I come! Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade!
See that?
That training's paying off!
None shall escape my
Thanks,
shield.
Gianna. Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry.
Do it!
Do better.
I wonder if we're going to get attacked again.
If we lose heart now, it's... Whole mission is over. We have to stay the course.
A six-armed giant. Is...
I've got a really bad feeling about this. This is gonna need all of us together! Here, let me help. The flashing parts are weak points. All disasters made one. Security! Maelstrom! All disasters made one. Come forth and healing security! Maelstrom! Standing candle! Magic is amped!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
Annihilation! Hear me!
Oh, sparkling starting light! Rain down and purify all blood!
Shouldn't have messed with me.
Hear me! Flame of
Heart requires complete water!
Hear my call! Spread!
Is it just me or are we checkmate?
Bring you
I
back
think
from
we might
depths
be.
abyss.
So, good time to run?
Mega ray!
One more time!
Annihilation! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning flame!
Glacial sphere! In here!
Don't give up!
Oh, sparkling stars of light!
Imbue this
Rain
vanquished
down and
soul with
purify
Here's a
all!
healing art! First aid! Meteor storm! Recover!
Hold on for your art! Here I come!
Benediction light.
A far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee!
Lunar corruption!
Radiant light!
Oh!
Regenerate!
May a thousand gales tear you to shreds!
Try harder! No, can't end here!
Don't leave me!
Imbue this
Illuminate the dark! Come, holy good, holy Lord!
Not done yet!
Heaven and earth, will this help?
Can you take it?
Here I
A
come!
wailing fancy of lightning! Healing cloud!
I don't know what I feel about it.
Perhaps now isn't the time?
I'm going to need all the power! More where that came from! Blah, blah, blah! Freeze Lancer! Blah, blah, blah! I never fit! And thrust!
Rising Wyvern!
Wind of heaven! Cyan instant!
Double Demon Fang!
Let's get you all tucked away! Lunar corruption!
I'm not done!
Lunar blast!
Dragon Swarm!
Water! Hear my
Explosive
call!
Ring!
Spread! Glacial sphere! Here's evil!
Now's our chance! Sleep now! Rending you apart! This one! Explosive ring! Finish without a trace!
Being interrupted.
In here! Explosion!
Rising Wiper!
Regenerate! Blaze of fear! Here's the evil!
Radiant light! Force
Regenerate!
Allow me to help.
Radiant here! Here's the healing thunder shield!
Rising Wiper! Take this! Rising Wiper! Rising Phoenix! Stay away from my friends! Struck!
Alright! It's showtime! Take that
Rising Wiper! Lunar Rocket! No escape! It's over! Void Blast!
Illuminate the dark! Come
Take
forth!
this!
Open your dark from
No
depths of
escape!
this. Holy land! Water after far beyond the darkest
I owe you one.
I call upon thee!
Demon Lash!
Radiant
Eagle Ray!
thumbs up!
Here, let me help.
Star! First aid!
Time to let it rip! You'll pay for that! Take this!
Winds of heaven! First force!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss! It's no fun!
Burn!
I'm going to need to use all
This should do it!
to accomplish this. Light
It's in your hands now. I'm not done!
Now!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I'll bring you back from
Here I
death's
come!
abyss!
I'm not done!
Far beyond the dark
Try this!
I call upon thee!
Explosive ring! No rest for the wicked. It's gonna attack!
Right, watch out! Forward up!
Why should human?
To stop you dying?
Escape! Sword ring out! You're mine! Try harder! No, you can't!
Chain between heaven and earth!
Now!
Here, let me help!
Blending! Brilliant performance! Try harder! My turn! On your knees!
Searing flame!
Double demon fang! Forgive me.
Holy land! Healing circle! Searing flame! Reload! I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Winds of heaven! Person! Sleep now! Here I go!
Not done yet!
Let me show you what my
Ready to go!
Rise and shine!
And more of this and I'll burn out!
Holy land! Now
Take this!
a chain between heaven and earth! Oh, there you go! Don't let up! Back into the whirling struggle!
Take this!
Back from death to winds of heaven! First force! Sleep now!
Rising Wyvern! I'm not done!
I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing arts.
Rising Falcon! It's over! Demon Dragon Swarm! Broken through me! No, now! While it's freely!
Take it down! Radiant here! A chain between heaven and earth!
I'm not done!
Healing circle!
It's over! Okay, here I go!
Thanks, Shield. Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. It's okay.
Here, let me help!
The flame... I'd be sure to be let free! Resonate with the earth! You're mine! Not today!
On your flame! Like
I'm not done! Damn!
Illuminate the dark! Come
Incineration
forth,
wave!
Holy land! Chain between heaven and earth! A wailing dancing of lightning! Feel!
Forgive me. This is my fault. I'll smash you! On your knees. Rising Wyvern!
Feel!
Air pressure!
Get on in there with the others!
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with love. Another incantation ruined. We've got him on the run.
Don't get caught!
Right. Still anyone's fight.
Get on in there with the others!
Take
Whirling
this!
struggle! Forward up! Rising Wyvern!
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with love and hesitation. Shine, radiant light, pulse of regeneration.
Hear my call! Vanquish darkness!
Megasonic thrust!
Hear my call!
I couldn't make it in time.
Let us take to the fiercest.
Your hands now.
Here I come! Rising Wyvern! Here I come!
I'll bring you back from death to this. Illuminate the dark!
No rest for the wicked.
Holy glitter! Holy light!
It's about to strike!
Drop, everyone!
Awaken and wreak havoc!
Winds of heaven!
Take this!
Burst forth! Seal!
Merciful death!
Learn!
Eat dirt! There! Try harder! Now!
My astral energy! Lightning to death! Thunderbolt!
You're mine!
Illuminate the dark! Lunar corruption! Holy light!
Forgive me.
I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing arts to accomplish this.
Armor won't save you!
I'll bring you back from death to this.
Incineration wave!
Into the shadows!
Downfall.
By the power I carry! Vanish without a trace!
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with love and hesitation.
Burning strike! Here's a healing art! First aid! Shooting star! Dance in the wind! In here! Lunar corruption! Get on in there with Lunar breath! I'm all set up! Here's Mega Ray! Gemini Aqua! Purge Malevolence! Arctic
Anything in armor is all mine!
Illuminate the dark! Holy Glimmer! Holy Lamp! Take it! You're mine! Illuminate the dark! Holy Glimmer! Holy Lamp! A chain between heaven and earth!
Shine, radiant light, regeneration, regenerate. I'm nearly done for. Okay, let me free you of your power. Despair. Now I can let loose.
Rise and shine!
Scream, fade,
Resurrection!
Dragon form!
bloody howling.
Lightning Lord! Here's evil! Purge Malevolence! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Well, we beat it in the end.
Let us harvest what we can use and take it with us.
Built for the sake of it and then cast aside. How sad. Is this a dead end?
It appears this whole room functions as an elevator. That apparatus there is likely what's used to control it.
What the? Where did they come from?
Less worry, more action. Concentrate.
Here I come! I'll take you all on! You're finished! Rising! Got fire!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
Rising Phoenix! All yours! Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo! Crush! It's over! Burn!
We got the advantage.
You're mine!
Now we're in this room. Let it happen.
Try harder! My turn! Here I come! You're on! Take this!
Need to pull myself together. You're mine!
Rising Phoenix! I'm not done! Rising Wyvern! Crush! Inferno! I'm not done!
Armor won't save you.
That'll bring you down! Winds of heaven!
Swallow I'm not done! Vacuum blade!
Shall escape my judgment!
Death Blossom! You're mine! Remote!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
I'm on it. I'll end you.
Rising Wyvern! Rising Phoenix!
Swallow dance.
Chain between heaven and earth!
Incineration wave!
Do it!
Follow me! In an instant!
it! Impact block! More Sukos?
Keep calm and take them down! Healing circle!
I'm not done! Take this!
A chain between heaven and earth!
Here I come!
A whirling fury of lightning!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
All disasters
Here are the
stage
flame
one.
inside
Come
me,
forth,
yours
the
to be
healing
let
is
free.
Now! Astral energy! Full throttle! A flawless victory. Naturally.
More? Here I come! Start up!
Eat this! Anything in armor is all mine!
Front! Force blast!
Gotta hold it
You're on! You're finished!
Searing flame! By the power of
I'm on! I'm not done!
Whirling blast! Feel!
I'm on it!
Don't get in my way!
Strike! Burn! Dragon Swarm! Rising Water! Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There you go, Elfin!
It's time to end this battle!
I'm right beside you!
Here I come!
Hailing Light!
That's
Chain between heaven and earth!
I'm just getting started!
Incineration Wave!
Device confiscated!
Now you see what I can do!
You're mine! Rising Wyvern!
I'll
Now!
finish you here and now!
Enemies incoming!
Do it! We'll take them down!
Kitara frozen!
Hammer!
More?
A chain between heaven
You're
and
up!
earth! Reload!
I'm not done!
Lightning can
There!
dance!
First strike!
I'm on a roll now!
Incineration Wave! Here I come! Rising Wyvern! Strike! Strike! Enough of the flame inside me! Yours to be let free!
I'm on it!
Take this!
Talon Hurricane!
Ignite!
Rip and tear! I'm
Try
just
this!
getting started!
A whirling struggle!
Do it!
Lost!
Demons descend! Flashing fang! Easy!
Way to go!
Take it! Strike! Rising Falcon!
I can't heal you forever! Between heaven and earth! A whirling
Escape!
lightning!
Rising Wyvern! Rising Phoenix! It's on! Take this! Dragon Swarm! Double Demon Fang! Incineration Wave! Remote!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Here, let me help. More incoming! Not on my watch!
Swallow dance!
The flame will roar! Here's the evil! Sleep now! Freeze Lancer!
Dragon Swarm! Sonic Truck!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Oh! Now I'm real mad!
I'll be saving this one! I'll heal you all! Shooting star! Now for something healing
You
circle!
picked the wrong fight! Okay,
All
here I go!
disasters grade 1! Here's the helix of purity! Freeze Lancer! Nail strike! Here's a healing arc! Some kind of defense medicine! Heal my call! The flames will roar! Sleep now!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Do it!
Five more?
Swallow dance! I never miss!
Eagle assault!
We're good to go! Feel! Do it!
Dragon Swarm!
Sleep now! This'll cut you easy! Alpin! Astral energy!
Say no more!
Hear me! Flame of Terror! Burning
Armor won't save you! I'm on it!
Spear!
Run you through!
A chain between
I'll tear you
coming
apart!
through!
Fang blast! Talon Hurricane!
A whirling struggle!
Rising
Do
Water!
it! Winds of heaven!
Hurricane Scan!
Do it!
Don't leave! Fang! Blow them away!
I still got a ways to go!
Even in such a harsh environment as this, there are still creatures here?
You think they're... Native to Rena? Or could they be Zoogle somehow?
Whatever they are, they're dangerous. Watch yourself. Around them. You think that pit stretches all the way to Rena's core?
If that's true... Oof. And if we go down, we should find the Great Spirit at the bottom.
We could get there even faster.
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
I'll take you all off!
These things really get on my nerves.
Eat this!
A whirling trouble.
We got fires!
I've got her. Let a marksman handle it.
All yours!
By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! The flames will roar! Explosion! Hurricane you all tucked away! Eat the shattering! Zephyr Now, top field!
Real Light burst force!
Radiant Genesis! By the power of flame!
I'm not done!
Here's a healing arc!
Rising Wyvern!
I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing arc to accomplish this. Now for the resurrection! Air throttle! A whirling
Now you see what I can do!
Winds of heaven!
Now I'm real mad!
Gravitas field! Cyclone! Into the shadows! Talon sword!
Finish this!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Crush all! Miasma! Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy Law! Get toasty!
Bird strike!
Right, next one. Here goes!
Already up!
The wheel! Air thrust! A chain between heaven and earth! A wailing damnation! It's over! Gravitas field! It's over! Astral energy! Full throttle! Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny...
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Attack time!
By the power of the flame! Vanish without a trace!
That frickin' does it!
Double Steven!
Explosion! Bolero! Too much to handle!
Damn it!
Into the shadows!
Talon hurricane!
Damn it! Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Thunderblade! Illuminate the blah 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 magic! Only reflection! Between heaven and earth! By the power of flame! You're not there with the others!
Not today!
By the power of flame!
Now,
It's showtime! Sleep now! Explosion! This'll come in handy!
Oh! Now I'm real mad! Armor won't save you! All good.
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that was improved.
No,
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Into the
Flame
shadows!
inside me, yours to be
Thunder
let free!
field! Thunder field! Into the shadows! Thunder field!
I'm not done!
Go away! Double demon back! Into the shadows! Thunder field!
We got the advantage!
Good. Just have to make sure we keep
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
barely a blip on our radar.
Don't get careless!
Don't tell me!
Vanish without a trace!
Eat dirt!
Hey, when did I get so popular? Eat this!
Watch it! Let me show you what my art can do! Eat this! Resurrection! Divine way too much to handle! I really struggle! Lightning orb!
Leave the ensnaring to me. Yeah, and probably to me. Far enough!
A wailing dance
That'll bring you down.
by the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace!
This one's mine!
Explosion! Illuminate the dark! Here's a healing art! First aid!
These fists have got your name on them! Eat this! Watch this!
Gravitas field! Into the shadows!
I'm going to need to use all the power of my whirling struggle.
You get the hit!
Ignite!
I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing arts to accomplish this.
Sleep now. I owe you, Sion.
Healing is what my arts do best.
All mine can do is cause havoc and destruction. Gravitas field! Into the heaven and earth! I owe you all! It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! I'll tear you apart! Into the shadows! Waterfall!
Far enough! Now you see what I can do!
Eternal devastation!
Rolling snap!
Free!
Let me show you what my arts can do! Diamond shine! May a thousand gales tear you to shreds! First aid! Here, let me help! First aid!
Ignite!
My astral energy! By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! Came between heaven and earth!
Explosive
I'll run you through!
Gravitas field!
Take this!
Into the shadows!
Now I'm real mad!
Wailing Banshee of lightning!
Nothing gets by me! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Eat this!
I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing arts to accomplish this.
To be let free!
Resurrection! By the power of flame! Vanish with... Don't mind if I do!
I'm a rising spell!
Blah, blah, blah! On to the biggest Field! I'll be saving this one!
Hold together, just a little longer.
Thanks for the sympathy.
Get it together! We need you informed! This is handy! Whoa! Far beyond the
This one's mine!
I call upon thee!
You should have messed with me!
What my arts can do!
Rise
and
Severing wing!
do it! Law, get toasty!
Bird strike!
This could be useful.
Oh, this looks nice and tough.
No holding back!
Here I come! This will be a decent kick! Dragon form! This blossom! Take this! One hit! Incineration wave! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Here I come!
Illuminate the dark! Not on my watch!
Take this!
All disasters made one! Come forth and heal some purity! In here! This will come in handy! In here! I'll be saving this one! Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
You picked the wrong fight!
Tree Blade! Meteor Storm! Here's a healing arm! First aid!
I'm sorry to be a bother.
We've all got enough disasters made
Yes,
one!
ma'am.
Come forth and heal it some purity! Glacial Spear! Here's the
here
storm
now.
beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee! In here! Hit! Up and in! Let's go!
Not today!
All disasters made one! Come forth and heal it some purity! Sweet now!
You should have met with me!
Here I come!
Double Demon Fang!
I'll tear you apart!
Resurrection!
Incineration
Shooting
wave!
star! I can do this all day!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Radiant pierce! All disasters made one! Come forth and heal it to purity! Seal!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
This time! I'll leave it to you!
All disasters made one! Come forth and heal it to purity!
Lost my focus!
Sleep now! This will come in handy! Glacial Spear! Seal! Go get him!
Rising
Where
Fire!
I came from!
You're on!
Do it!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! That's some power you wield.
You're the one who did the heavy lifting.
These structures don't look like anything built by the Renans. Even what we saw in the Forbidden Zone.
Perhaps this is the true architectural style of the Helganquil. Or perhaps the opposite, given their situation.
You mean like how some places favor building stuff with stone, while others rely on wood?
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I'll have to inquire with Hevrect 35 about it sometime.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this. I'm surrounded!
Glacial Fire! Switch power!
You got fires!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
All yours!
Blah, blah, blah! Vanish with seal!
Dragon!
Magic is here! In here!
Inferno crossing!
Power pile! Blah, blah, blah!
Spin!
Hurricane! He likes to handle!
Lunar
Burning! A whirling circle. This one's mine. I call upon thee.
I'm on it. Dragon
Annihilation. Hurricane. By the power of flames.
See what happened there when you crossed.
Nothing but now.
Your astral arts are truly incredible. Every little bit helps, right? Indeed it does. I'll keep pushing to be...
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Dragon spin! By the power of raging cascade! Without a trace! Fresh!
Glacial power! Inferno crossing!
Lunar arc!
This one's mine! Havoc thrust! Dazzling spin! Talon sword!
Radiant flood here!
Lunar hurricane!
Glacial spear! Fierce evil! Raging cascade! Freeze laser!
Sadistic descent! Unguard!
Radiant here!
Look out! This!
I'm out of ammo!
Eat this! Switch to offense!
Shield!
Talon hurricane! Dazzling spin! Inferno punch! Sadistic descent! Burn!
Law! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Wanna be the one to block next time?
Huh? Not really my thing.
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Watch it! Maximum burn! Armor won't save you!
Chain between Dominator!
Watch it!
Fierce evil! A wailing banshee of lightning! Freeze laser! Far beyond the darkest sky! Rising star!
No chance! Glacial Talon Sword! Inferno crossing!
A whirling struggle!
Talon hurricane!
Winds of heaven!
First one! Their arcs were interrupted!
Do it! Dohaline!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! I'll heal you all!
I'm on it!
Illuminate the dark! Here's a healing art!
Glacial hurricane! Swallow dance! I'm on a roll now! Rolling fast!
None shall escape my turn!
I'll take you all on!
Ha! Flare the Malisa! Ringwell!
Frozen!
Hammer!
Nicely done.
Armor won't
All
save you!
thanks to you.
My astral energy!
Swallow dance!
Healing
I'm on a roll now!
Now!
Eagle assault! Ringwell!
Frozen!
Hammer!
I feel the power flowing through me.
You'll be able to help even more people now.
Yeah, I guess I will.
Those thorns.
I'm not letting them get in our way!
My word. This must be the work of Providence.
Bravo, what now?
It means destiny. I think it's a bit of an exaggeration, though. I've got a really bad feeling about this.
That's freaking does it! Blow away! Now to pieces!
By the power of water! Shooting star! Careful! It has some kind of camouflage! By the power of water!
Glacial fire! What's this?
So tired. All that running around is catching up with
This
you.
has got your name on them!
I don't think that's it.
Divine savior! Resurrection!
Dazzling spin! Ready and rare!
All disasters!
Denied!
Here's a healing art!
I'll tear you apart! To pieces! Maximum burn! Talon hurricane!
Divine! None shall escape my judgment! Glacial Spear! This one's mine! Reflector! I call upon thee! Here's a healing arm!
Now just the
First aid! Here!
Spin!
Get on your feet! Lunar Blast!
Going in!
Blah, blah, blah! Air thrust! I'm going to keep having all my power of my healing arm in my savior! Resurrection!
Spin! First strike! Oh, that's you!
Glacial Fire!
Talon Sword!
Magic Assist! Fresh! A whirling strike! You get the gist!
Big Blast! Inferno Crossing! Lunar Arc!
Eat this!
Talon Hurricane!
Illuminate magic assist! Holy Land!
Charge like that can easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it.
Searing
Strike! I'll tear you apart! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa! Ha! Look sharp! Mighty Left!
Here's a healing arc!
Smash you!
The enemy wields arts too.
You'll soon see about that!
Watch this!
There you go! Don't let up! In here! I'll heal you all!
No, I won't give in. I've let you all down.
Come on! You have to hold on! Dazzling Spin! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss! A whirling struggle! Magic hand! Magic hand! Into the shadows! See much to handle? Chain the Fugit! In here!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa!
Here, let me help! First aid!
I owe you one for that!
More where that came from! Cyan Instant!
Denied!
Holy Land!
Dazzling Spin!
Dance in the wind! Air! Will this help?
Glacial Fire!
Thank you for all your help.
Please, don't mention it.
I'm glad to know someone's got my back.
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
I think I'm getting the hang of this.
You're definitely way stronger.
Yeah, nothing motivates you like having steak this high.
Man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
And just like that, I'm back in it. Start by holding the front line. No sooner said than done. Insects will stay on the ground.
Hey, when did I get so popular?
Thank you for all your help.
Please, don't mention it.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil!
Eat this! Leave the ensnaring to me. Yeah! That's what Hubbard is me!
Ryan Pierce!
Talon Hurricane!
By the
Glacial Fire!
Sadistic Descent!
Havoc
Glacial Spear!
I'm on the showtime!
Here!
Sadistic Descent!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
We may get out of this alive after all.
Yeah, things were looking bad for a minute here.
I'm pretty sure we can handle anything.
Your astral arts are truly incredible. Every little bit helps, right? Indeed it does. I'll keep pushing to be better as well.
Do it! Sadistic descent!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Well, looky here.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this. Now you see what I can do!
Vanish without a trace! Super Swallow Strike!
Watch this! I'll tear you apart!
Burning Talon Hurricane!
Look sharp!
I'll heal you all! Burn! Inferno Punch!
That
Piercing Roar! Divine! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolition!
Watch this!
Radiant Pierce!
Stand back! I'll trip it off!
Not feeling so hot.
Take it easy. You'll hurt yourself.
Sorry, didn't mean to make you worry.
Still! You're all Swallow Day!
Far beyond the darkest
Glimmer
sky.
Dragon!
I'm haunted.
Inferno
Searing
Punch!
flame. Reload. Shooting star.
A whirling
I'll heal you
struggle!
all.
Piercing Roar!
Winds of heaven.
You're interrupted!
Go away!
I'm sorry to be wrong.
We've all got this.
Yes, ma'am.
It looks like you got this one covered.
Anything in armor is all mine.
I'll run you through! Did you see this coming? Blizzard Bloom! That'll bring you down! That's for... Shooting Star! Dragon Shell!
whirling struggle. Winds of heaven.
Sadistic Descent! Worth a shot! Backblading! Fantastic!
Thanks for the healing.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Here's a healing art.
Dazzling Spin!
I'm all right.
Lightning
Oh,
orb.
where was I?
Dazzling Spin!
Magic is Radiant far beyond the darkest sky.
Sadistic Descent!
I'll what my art can do.
Blizzard Bloom!
Shooting star.
Dazzling Spin!
Blah blah blah. Magic.
I'm on it! That freaking does it!
Here, thrust.
Big blast!
Sadistic Descent! Blizzard Bloom!
Water.
I'm on
Hear my call.
Right now!
Magic is here.
That freaking does it! Armor won't save you!
In here. I'm going to use
Glacial
all the
Fire!
power of my healing art.
Inferno Crossing!
Appreciate the help.
Strike!
Holy Land.
Here back! Eat this! Dazzling Spin!
Blah blah blah. Radiant
Swallow Dance!
More for the stockpile. Water.
No
Hear my
chance!
call.
How's that? On guard!
Spread.
Go in!
Here's the evil.
Hurricane! Now I'm in the groove! Spin! Talon Sword!
Blah blah blah. I'm out of weapons.
I'll cover you! Spin! Sadistic Descent! I'll cover you!
Chain between Here's a healing art.
Spin! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolition!
Poor man Savage.
Use all the power of our knowledge to
I'll
accomplish this.
smash you!
Burning
Dodge the dog!
Alright.
Talon Sword! Dazzling Spin!
Get on by the
Crop Water! Glacial Fire! Swallow Dance! Sadistic Descent!
Alright.
Lacerating Essence!
Blah blah blah.
Maximum Burst!
You see what happened there is you crossed me. Shouldn't have done that.
Picked the wrong fight!
Giant excellence.
Do it! Spin! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
More power to protect everyone.
And to be protected.
Yeah, that one.
It's fucking 6 o'clock, bro. I'm about to turn the stream off. I'll be back on tomorrow, though. See you tomorrow, bro. Thanks for coming.